war, destruction, death. In the midst of chaos, a different kind of industry flourishes. Welcome to the world of weapons manufacturing, a billion-dollar industry driven by profit and politics, where the pursuit of power and money fuels the production of deadly arms. The arms trade. The Israel-Palestine conflict has claimed thousands of lives, leaving destruction and despair in its wake. But amidst the devastation, one group is profiting from the conflict: American weapons manufacturers. The stocks of companies like Raytheon and General Dynamics have surged by $30 billion since the war began. These companies supply the weapons used by Israel in its military operations, fueling the cycle of violence. While the people of Palestine and Israel suffer, these corporations reap the benefits of war. The war has become a lucrative business opportunity, with American taxpayers footing the bill. The revolving door between government and industry raises questions about accountability and the true cost of war. As the death toll rises, so do the profits, a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict. Profiting from war. The United States stands at the forefront of global arms sales, dominating the international market with an unparalleled 75% share. Countries around the world turn to the U.S. for cutting-edge military technology, from advanced fighter jets to sophisticated missile systems. Nations like Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar are among the top recipients of U.S. arms, fueling conflicts and military interventions in the Middle East. The U.S. arms industry is a multi-billion-dollar juggernaut, generating enormous profits for corporations like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Raytheon. However, the human cost of these arms sales is often overlooked. The U.S. supplies weapons to countries with questionable human rights records. These weapons fuel conflicts, displace communities, and claim innocent lives. The long-term consequences of these sales are rarely considered. The U.S. government plays a significant role in promoting arms sales, often with little transparency or accountability. As global tensions rise, the U.S. arms export industry continues to thrive. But at what cost to global stability and human lives? The question remains, should the U.S. prioritize profits over peace and human security? The world watches as the U.S. arms export industry continues to shape the course of global conflicts. The U.S. arms export empire. The weapons industry's reach extends far beyond governments. Private military companies are increasingly profiting from conflict. Companies like Blackwater and the Wagner Group operate in the shadows, providing military services to those willing to pay. These mercenaries fight on behalf of governments, corporations, and even individuals, often with little oversight or accountability. The private military industry is a multi-billion-dollar business, with companies competing for lucrative contracts and expanding their influence. However, the involvement of private military companies in conflicts has raised concerns about human rights abuses and the lack of accountability. The industry operates in a gray area, often evading regulation and oversight, leaving victims without recourse. As conflicts escalate, private military companies are poised to play an increasingly significant role, further blurring the lines between war and profit. Some are sounding the alarm, warning of the dangers of privatized warfare and the need for greater transparency and accountability. But the question remains, can the world afford to let private interests dictate the course of conflict? The private military industry's rise raises fundamental questions about the nature of war, power, and accountability in the modern world. The mercenaries industry. The human cost of war is devastating, but the U.S. faces a different kind of conflict: gun violence. Over 500 mass shootings have occurred in the U.S. this year alone, leaving communities shattered and families grieving. The numbers are staggering: hundreds dead, thousands injured, and countless lives forever changed. The debate over gun control rages on, with the gun lobby wielding significant influence over policy. Meanwhile, communities demand action, seeking solutions to prevent further bloodshed. Survivors' stories serve as a reminder of the human toll, their voices echoing in the silence. Lawmakers face pressure to act, but progress is slow, and the debate remains contentious. The American people are left to wonder, when will the next shooting happen, and what can be done to stop it? As the nation mourns, the cycle of violence continues, leaving scars that may never fully heal. Yet, amidst the tragedy, a glimmer of hope emerges. Activists, organizations, and individuals demanding change. The U.S. gun violence epidemic. Politicians in the weapons industry have a complex relationship. Many politicians have personal investments in defense companies, which can create a conflict of interest. This means that politicians may prioritize the interests of defense companies over the needs of their constituents. For example, a politician who owns stocks in a defense company may be more likely to support policies that benefit that company, even if those policies aren't in the best interest of the country. This can lead to decisions that prioritize profits over people. The revolving door between government and industry also contributes to this problem. Politicians and government officials often leave public service to work for defense companies and vice versa. This can create a culture of favoritism and corruption. The impact of this conflict of interest can be significant. It can lead to unnecessary wars, excessive military spending, and a lack of accountability in the defense industry. To address this issue, many experts recommend greater transparency and accountability in government. This could include stricter disclosure requirements for politicians' financial interests and stronger ethics laws to prevent corruption. Ultimately, the relationship between politicians and the weapons industry needs to be re-examined. By prioritizing the needs of constituents over the interests of defense companies, politicians can work towards creating a more just and peaceful world.